Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Welcome to Bhakti Vaibhava course. Today we are studying Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 3. Krishna, the source of all incarnations. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Swarasvate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshadarine Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyev Patidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna. So, Krishna, the source of all incarnations. Wonderful chapter. Important chapter. We'll see why. So, in the previous chapter, Divinity and Divine Service, we saw it ended with the descriptions of Purushavatara, Supreme Personality of Godhead, his incarnations, Purushavatara. So now, in this chapter, we will be seeing, first of all, we'll continue that Purushavataras from 1 to 5, and then from 29 incarnations and their source, Krishna. Very beautiful and wonderful section. 30 to 34, imaginary material forms. Virat Rupa. Okay. So, Sutta Goswami answered question 4 by explaining the Purushavatas in 1.2.30 to 33. Now he gives further details of the Purushavatas in 1.3.1 to 5. Karandakshay Vishnu, Garvadakshay Vishnu and all. And then he goes to Lilavataras. So let's study from there. Jagrihe Purusham Rupam Suta Uvacha Jagrihe Purusham Rupam Bhagavan Mahadadibhi Sambhutam Shodashakala Mahado Lukasisrikshaya. Sutta Goswami said that in the beginning of the creation, the Lord first expanded himself in the universal form of the Purusha incarnation and manifested all the ingredients for the material creation. And thus, at first, there was the creation of the 16 principles of material action. This was for the purpose of creating the material universe. So, Supreme Personality of Godhead, he created Karandakshay Vishnu. In the beginning of creation, he expanded himself into the universal form, Purusha incarnation. And we have Mahatattva and all in this. Panchatan Matra, 16 principles of material creation. We'll see them, we saw in Bhagavad Gita, Mahatattva, then 24 elements of the world, nature, all these things. Shadash, the 16, Shodoshakalam, Sambhutam, Shodoshakalam, 16 primary principles. 11 senses, including mind. Pancha Mahabhutas means sense objects. Pancha Mahabhutas elements, earth, water, ether, fire, air. And Tanmatras, sense objects. So in the purport, Prabhupada talks about how Purushavataras, specifically the Purushavatas are the cause of all creation, material and creation and material elements, matter. So what is the reason for creation? What is the reason for creation? Prabhupada talks here. Bhagavad Gita also explains this. So this Purusha confirmation, Purusha form is the confirmation of the same principle. Original personality of Godhead, Lord Vasudeva. First three. The first is Karanadakshay Vishnu. Yesterday we discussed that. Then Garvadakshay Vishnu, Kriyodakshay Vishnu. Then Prabhupada also discusses here that why this material world is created. It's because to give a chance to all the Nityavadhyas, living beings. Creation and destruction is done by supreme will of, because the conditioned souls, because of, see. So that was one first time of Srila Prabhupada, where one devotee came to Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, why did God create like this? Like why did Krishna create material world? If he would not create, we would not suffer. Prabhupada became so angry. He said, you are the cause of creation. You did create. The devotee got bewildered. What? I didn't create anything. He said, no, you wanted to enjoy. Prabhupada said, you wanted to enjoy separately other than Krishna. That's why Krishna had to create this material world in order to facilitate your desire to enjoy. Ahankara, Nityavadhya, Jivas. Then also Prabhupada talks in this purport that the God, Supreme Lord, gives us two chances. Okay, in this world, two chances. One is either you do bhakti or you do bhoga. Okay. Either you serve God and go back to Godhead, you get your constitutional position again back and go back to Godhead, or you do bhoga and continue in this material world cycle of birth and death. So that's why it's created that this chance to enjoy matter is given to conditioned souls in the material world, and the side by side they are given chance to understand the real constitutional position. So both chances are given. Either you do bhakti or do bhoga. Both chances, two chances. So what is Mahatvattva? Prabhupada discusses here. What is Mahatvattva? When the creation is again set up, this Mahatvattva is again let loose. This Mahatvattva contains all the ingredients of the material manifestations, including the conditioned soul. So Mahatattva is the one which gets everything. This Mahatattva is divided into 16 parts. And what is Mahatattva exactly? So Prabhupada says that it is like the cloud in the clear sky. It's in one corner, the cloud in the clear sky. In the spiritual sky, the effulgence of the Brahman is spread all around. And the whole system is dazzling in spiritual light. The Mahatattva is assembled in some corner of the vast, unlimited spiritual sky. In some corner, which is covered by the Mahatattva, called the material sky. Spiritual sky, material sky. This is called Mahatattva. So for reference, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur actually in his purport, he gives reference here. You can see Chaitanya Charitamrita. By Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. CC Madhya 5.85 to 86. He quotes two verses from Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila. And this is for this verse. Oh. Okay. Now let's go to next verse where they talk about Garvadakshay Vishnu. Yasyambhasi shayanasya yoga nidram vitanvataha nabhi Naviradam Bhujambas Bhujadasid Brahma Vishwasrijambati. A part of the Purusha, who is a part of the Purusha, Garadakshay Vishnu, lies down within the water of the universe, and from the noble lake of his body sprouts a lotus stem, and from the lotus flower atop this stem, Brahma, the master of all engineers in the universe, becomes manifested. So same thing what we studied yesterday in detail. So that's the same thing we are studying here. Again, we get here two analogies. How Supreme Lord is the cause of all creation. He is the Supreme Godhead and he is the father of everything. Two analogies are here, important. Mm. One is about just like how a man cannot, like a man and women cannot create something separately, like specifically women. Although we have examples in Shastra in previous ages, how sages they created, they gave birth without women also. Like we have example. In fact, when Venu was also there, the sages charmed his body and they got Prithu Maharaj, Prithu Archi, another Shudra, something like this. So different examples are there how they created without women. But women cannot create without the help of men. Similarly, this material world cannot create without the energy or without the help of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Cannot create alone. And another example is analogy is given Ajagalasana Nyaya. Just like a goat, we can see nipple in the neck of goat. So that looks like a nipple, but you cannot milk from it. You cannot get milk. It's just useless, just seen like this. Similarly, matter cannot create matter. Matter cannot create matter. The Purusha impregnates and the Prakriti delivers. That's the point. See, we should not expect milk from the fleshy bags of the neck of a goat, although they look like breastly nipples. Similarly, we should not expect any creative power from the material ingredients. We must believe in the power of God. For reference, again, they give reference in Gauriya Bhashya in this regard from Chaitanya Charitamrita. CC Adi 5.61. Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila 5.61. You can see as a reference there. Okay. So now actually from 1 to 5, let's read these verses and we see a summary of that. यस्यावयव संस्थाने कल्पित लोक विस्तरः तद्वै भगवत रूपं विशुद्धं सत्वमूर्जितम्. It is believed that all the universal planetary systems are situated on the extensive body of the Purusha, but he has nothing to do with the creative material ingredients. His body is eternally in spiritual existence par excellence. So this talks about text 3. It talks about Virat Purusha, universal form of Lord. Also, some more reference there Saraswati Thakur gives. CC Madhya 5.103. Oh. 101 to 103. how the lotus stem sprouted from the Nebel lake of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. Let's read 4 and 5 also. Pashyantado Pashyantado Rupamadabhra Chakshusha Sahasrapadorabhujananadbhutam Sahasramurdha Shavanakshinasikam Sahasramulyam Varakundalo Lasat. The devotees with their perfect eyes see the transcendental form of the Purusha who has thousands of legs, thighs, arms, and faces, all extraordinary. In that body, there are thousands of hairs, ears, eyes, and noses. They are decorated with thousands of helmets and earrings and are adorned with garlands. They're decorated with thousands of uh, helmets, earrings, and adorned with garlands. That's what happens with them. Shri Vishnu. So this verse also talks about, this verse talks qualifications to see that form of Lord. Vigyan Chakshu, with perfect eye, devoted with the perfect eyes, see the transcendental form of the Lord. And description of the form is given. The dazzling beauty of Lord, decorated with thousands of helmets and earrings, and are adorned with garlands, hairs, ears, eyes, noses. Amazing. Let's read text 5 also. एतानावताराणां निधानं बीजमव्ययं यस्यां शांशेन सृज्यन्ते देवतिर्यं नारादयः. This form, the second manifestation of Purusha, okay? Second manifestation of Purusha means Garbhodakshaya Vishnu is the source of the indestructible seed of multifarious incarnation within the universe, and from the particles and portions of this form, different living entities like demigods, men, and others are created. So, form of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, source of indestructible seed of multifarious incarnations. All of them come from here within the universe. Seed comes from there, and the particles and portions of this form, everything are created from him. So let me summarize the purpose also of this section, all this 1 to 5, all these verses. We see about, already we summarized this in previous section class, in previous chapter 30 to 34, where we depicted pictorially the Vishnu Tattva. So Karanodakshaya Vishnu is the first Purusha, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu second Purusha, and Tridakshaya Vishnu is the third Purusha. And Karanodakshaya Vishnu is the one who creates Mahatvattva and creates all the ingredients in Mahatvattva. And he is the super soul of all the creation, specifically material creation. Okay. And he, by his own will, he sleeps in one corner of the spiritual sky. That's called causal ocean. And he glances towards matter, and then creation starts. His glance, by his glance. Yesterday, what we showed, Krishna and Balaram. From Balaram comes first Chaturvyuha, quadruple incarnation, and then comes Narayan, then comes another Chaturvyuha. Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, the second Purusha, he enters each and every universe. And he is the super soul of all the universe. Actually, he is called, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu is called the super soul of all the aggregate jivas. And he fills up everything with his sweat. And from his navel comes this lotus. And Brahma takes birth there. He is the source of all Gunavataras and Shaktavesa Avatara. Tridakshaya Vishnu, third Purusha, he is the super soul for all Andantarastha Paramanushayamtarastha, all individual living beings. And he is the maintainer of the universe. and he is the source of all the Lilavataras. Comes from him. Then in text 3, Prabhupada talks about Virat Rupa. Whom is it for? This Virat Rupa is for Kanishta, third class devotee, Kanishta Adhikari, Bhakta, Kanishta Bhakta. Why? Because they cannot realize the beautiful form of Lord. They cannot accept that, realize that. So that's why it's for them, Virat Rupa, those who are Kanishtas. Why? Because they think that form is something of material world. In material world, everything is having form. So form is of material world. So if we order to, in spiritual world, there should not be any form. So they think form is material. So that's why they cannot see any form. So a Virat, universal form is there. Another reason is given that in order to make them fixed and in order to make them stable, sthir, this is an imaginary form. Imaginary form. Then in text 4, in the purport, Prabhupada talks that how we need to purify our senses in order to see Lord. Indriya Shuddhi, Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanana. Then only we can see him with our eyes infested with love for God. And Prabhupada also gives an analogy that in purport 4, that even in this material world, with our naked eyes, with our material eyes, we cannot see everything. Many things that we cannot see with our eyes. We need microscope, we need machine and all. So then how can you see spiritual truth with just naked eyes? So in text 4, Saraswati Thakur also gives further reference that you see Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam 3.8.30 and 9.14.2. For further reference, where you get description about the eternal form of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu that you find in that section. Also Chaitanya Charitamrita, CC Madhya 5.100. 5.100. In purport 5, Prabhupada discusses about the Gunavataras, three Gunavataras, Vishnu, who is not different from the Supreme Lord, is Supreme Lord. Then Shiva Tattva. Example is given of Kshiram Yathadadi Vikara Vishesha Yogas from Brahma Samhita. Milk and yogurt. Okay. You can extract, you can get yogurt from milk, but yogurt is not milk. So Shiva is like yogurt, Vishnu is like the milk. But Shiva is not an ordinary living being. He is portion of Vishnu. Then Brahma, Jiv Tattva, he is Jiv Tattva and he is the most pious Jiva. And yeah, when there is no particular Jiva who can take the position of Brahma, then Supreme Lord himself comes as Brahma. That's one point. Another point Prabhupada discusses, I think in 9th canto of Bhagavatam, in one place Prabhupada says that, also in other places is understanding that when the Jiva falls down in material world, first he becomes Brahma. And then, okay, either first he becomes Brahma, controls the universe, and then if he is a devotee Brahma, does bhakti to Lord, then he can go back to Godhead after his period of Brahma lifetime and maintaining everything, creating everything. But if he's not a devotee, then he falls down, and that are we. So we can say that we all of us are ex-Brahmas. We have been Brahma at a certain point of time. And Manvantar Avatar, in 1 day of Brahma, we have 14 Manu. That means in 1 month of Brahma, we get 420 Manus. And in 1 year of Brahma, we get 5,040 Manus. And within 100 years of Brahma, we get 5 lakhs, 4,000 Manus. Yugavataras. In different yugas, Krishna comes in different incarnations. Satya Yuga, Shweta, and in different colors. Satya Yuga and Shweta, white, Treta, red, Dwapara, Shyam, like Krishna, Kali, Pita, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Shaktavesh Avatar also Prabhupada talks about Shaktavesh Avatar. Yeah, you see all these descriptions about how different Manus, 5,400, 5,040 Manus, 420 Manus in 1 month, and 1 year, and 100 years. Different Manus names, everything are given there. Technically, you read all these details. Shaktavesh Avatara. 2 types of Shaktavesh Avatara. One is Avatara, one is Vibhuti. Avatara means who are directly incarnations, like when they are directly empowered, they are called incarnations, but when they are indirectly empowered, they are called Vibhutis. Directly empowered incarnations like Kumaras, Narad Muni, Prithu, Shesha, Ananta, etc. And Vibhutis, and different Vibhutis Prabhupads. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita also, Vibhuti Yoga. Krishna is the fountainhead of everything. And Garadakshay Vishnu is the fountainhead of all the incarnations, is said here. So for further reference for this particular text, you see reference. You see CC Adi 5.96, 96 to 102. Then you see CC Adi 1.65 to 67. Then you see CC Adi 20.245. 245 to 246. These verses. Like that. Different things. Now comes text 6 to 29. Our whole, okay. After explaining about the Purushavatas, answers to question 4, Sutta Goswami explains about Lilavataras, question 5. What was the question 5? That please describe your Lilavataras. So now he actually enumerates, he recollects, he brings here 22 incarnations of the Lord. Answer to question 5, asked in 1.1.18. 22 Kumaras, and all board, Matsa Kurma, Devarshi Narada, Narayan, Kapila, Dattatreya, all of them. We will read them further in future classes. Okay. Hare Krishna. Dhanyavad Pranam. Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran ki jai.